it's Tom here and welcome to Szoboszlai Sunday. This will be the day where Liverpool officially announced that Dominik Szoboszlai is a new Liverpool player. Fabrizio Romano tweeted that Dominik Szoboszlai last evening signed his official contract at Liverpool. He is the new Liverpool player on a long 5-year deal until June the 2028. No buy option included. The 7 million euro release clause, which is 60 million pounds, was triggered on Friday, and Dominik Szoboszlai will earn 150,000 pounds per week. In this video, we will get to take a detailed look at Szoboszlai and a detailed analysis. I'm from Hungary, I'm Hungarian, so I know Dominik Szoboszlai more than any other Liverpool fan probably who is not from Hungary, because I've been following his footsteps since he was a youth player. So make sure to watch this video in full, because you will have a detailed tactical analysis of Dominik Szoboszlai. And if you are excited about this news, leave a like. Yesterday's video did numbers, 11,000 views. Thank you so much for all the likes and all the sweet comments. If you are here, make sure to keep staying subscribed, and if you are new here, make sure to subscribe, because I'm posting daily Liverpool transfer news updates. And the medical tests were successfully completed after Dominik Szoboszlai landed in England on a private jet. We even saw footage of that. Make sure to follow me on Twitter if you aren't already, because I'm posting regular updates on Liverpool's transfer news. So this is absolutely brilliant news. Some fans are saying that Liverpool have overpaid for Dominik Szoboszlai, but if you think that Kai Havertz cost 65 million, Declan Rice cost 105 million pounds, Szoboszlai for 60 million is the going rate for a midfielder like this. And if he didn't have the release clause, he would have cost even more, 70 or 80 million. And that's why Liverpool triggered the release clause, because we didn't want to enter a bidding war with Newcastle. And if the release clause was not paid, then Leipzig could have asked for even more money, seeing the competition for Dominik Szoboszlai. And Fabrizio Romano, just like half an hour ago, said that Szoboszlai will be announced and unveiled as a new Liverpool player today. This is the current plan. The contract is, of course, for 5 years. And many people are surprised that Liverpool signed Dominik Szoboszlai out of the blue. But if you have been following my channel, I made 2 videos on Dominik Szoboszlai being linked to Liverpool, even when he was a Salzburg player 3 years ago. And I also made a video on May the 26th, I think, so more than 1 month ago, on Dominik Szoboszlai being a Liverpool transfer target, and Liverpool want to sign Dominik Szoboszlai. That was my video title. So I'm really proud and happy that I could break this news earlier than any other major journalist in England. So make sure to follow my channel if you haven't already. I don't get player names on my Liverpool shirt since Steven Gerrard retired. I only got Tom and number 7 on a Liverpool shirt since then. But I'm definitely getting Dominik Szoboszlai's shirt after he is officially announced, because I'm from Hungary. So walking around with a Dominik Szoboszlai Liverpool shirt will be absolutely iconic here in Hungary. And I just absolutely can't wait to see the biggest talent in Hungarian football for the past 40 years play for Liverpool. It's even a dream come true for a Hungarian football fan to see a big club sign an important Hungarian talent, a big talent who will be a regular starter for Liverpool in the next 5 years. I'm pretty convinced of that, because Dominik Szoboszlai has the talent, and also he has the work rate, which is even more important than the talent. He has the work rate to go to the very top of football, and he also loves Jurgen Klopp. He gave an interview 2 years ago that Jurgen Klopp is his favorite manager, and the way that he can elevate the team and the way he can elevate and motivate players is absolutely brilliant. That's what Dominik Szoboszlai said even 2 years ago. So I think he has been watching Liverpool play, and Dominik Szoboszlai played against Liverpool a couple of times. We played Leipzig in a preseason friendly where Dominik Szoboszlai played. I think we won 5-0 or something crazy like that in Leipzig. But we also played Salzburg home and away in the Champions League when Dominik Szoboszlai was still playing there. there, like 3 seasons ago. And especially the game at Anfield was famous because we were 3-0 up after like 38 minutes. Then Salzburg equalized, and particularly in part of Dominik Szoboszlai taking a quick free kick and Minamino also scored, Erling Haaland scored in that game. So that was a big like scouting mission for Liverpool and Premier League clubs because Haaland, Minamino and Szoboszlai now all end up in England. And then Salah scored the winner to make it 4-3. And we also played in Salzburg where Liverpool won 2-0. That was a more uneventful game, but Szoboszlai played in both games. And Jurgen Klopp knows what a big talent he is, and he already spoke to Dominik Szoboszlai on the phone even before his medical. David Ornstein also confirmed that Liverpool are set to complete a deal for Dominik Szoboszlai. 5-year contract, the medical is done, and the confirmation is expected in the next 24 hours. Plus, Guido Schäfer, who is a Leipzig-based German journalist, he said Leipzig will today confirm the deal with Liverpool for Szoboszlai, which means the medical is done and dusted, which is absolutely brilliant. And I also uploaded a Hungary highlights game where I vlogged the whole match and I posted the highlights against Bulgaria, where Dominik Szoboszlai scored an incredible 30-yard goal. And make sure to watch that video. It's the previous video on my channel. And also Dominik Szoboszlai has one big injury on his injury record. 2 seasons ago he missed 52 games for Salzburg and Leipzig, but that was for an adductor muscle injury, which is quite common in players who are growing and developing. Remember, at that time Dominik Szoboszlai was only like 19, 20 years old, and that's pretty common. But since then he has been pretty much injury free. He missed 1 game in the last 2 years because of injury, which is absolutely amazing. I'm really looking forward to Dominik Szoboszlai playing for Liverpool. I can't stress that enough, how absolutely amazing that is. Since Coutinho and Gerrard left Liverpool, we didn't have and we don't have a midfielder who can score long-range strikes, who can be threatening from midfield. Last season we played 20 games against the bottom 10 sides and we only won 10 of them. So we dropped points in half of our games against the bottom 10 Premier League teams. I think 6 draws and 4 losses, something like that, which is not good enough. And many times the reason for that was that Liverpool didn't have a midfielder scoring goals when the strikers went blank. In some games the strikers were nullified. Salah was marked up the game. The other strikers weren't up to their usual standards. They weren't in form. And that's when you need midfielders propping up with goals. Look at Man City. I think they are the benchmark when it comes to performance on the football pitch. And they had Bernardo Silva, De Bruyne, Rodri, Gundogan, Phil Foden, so many midfielders who can score goals for Man City. Who is the one fit midfielder who regularly scores even 5 goals for Liverpool? There is absolutely nobody. And now we have McAllister and Szoboszlai, who is capable of scoring goals in midfield, which is absolutely brilliant. This is not the finished article. He's already very good, borderline world class. He was involved in 23 goals last season with 10 goals and 13 assists in like 46 games or something like that. But at Liverpool, he has the potential to even exceed that with, of course, with better players surrounding him. And Liverpool already have a very good strike force. Darwin Núñez, Luis Diaz, Cody Gakpo, Mo Salah, Jota. They all love to run the channels. They all love a brilliant through ball. And Szoboszlai is exactly the kind of player that can, for example, unlock Darwin Núñez and put him in very good positions. And it will be up to the strikers to finish the incredibly high amount of chances that Szoboszlai will create for them. And now let's talk about the player analysis of Dominik Szoboszlai. Szoboszlai is a fantastically versatile player. He can play as an attacking midfielder, as a box-to-box midfielder, as a false striker, as a right winger, left winger, even as a center midfielder or as a second striker. And what is absolutely amazing about Dominik Szoboszlai is for under 23 players, he has the second most expected assists per 90 minutes, which is 0.45. Only one player has more. He has even more expected assists than the likes of Kylian Mbappe or Musiala or Kvaratskhelia or Rodrigo, Donia Malen, Kulusevski. I could go on and on, Martinelli. And he also has a lot of progressive passes per 90 minutes, 5.5 progressive passes. Harvey Elliott is on the same level, and there are not a lot of players with more progressive passes in his age group, but he really stands out on this metric that I'm looking at. His favorite position probably is the right midfield, right wing role, so I think it will be fascinating to see how he links up with Mohamed Salah and how he links up with Trent Alexander-Arnold. And a big question for Liverpool tactically is, will we keep using 3-2-2-3 formation, where we played with basically 4 centre-backs in defense, but in attack, Konate, Van Dijk and Robertson were staying back a little bit. Fabinho and alongside him Trent Alexander-Arnold slotted into defensive midfield, and then we had of course 2 attacking midfielders plus 3 forwards in front of them, or 1 attacking midfielder and 3 forwards in front of them. But that's really exciting for Liverpool. One of the best attributes of Dominik Szoboszlai is his shooting technique. I'm sure that you have watched his long range goals, his free kicks. It's absolutely amazing. He has been practicing free kicks almost all of his life. When he was a young player, he practiced 200 free kicks per day, and it shows because his technique, his ball striking is absolutely fantastic. He's the cream of the crop in this regard. He's one of the best shooters from distance and set piece takers because of this. And Liverpool, how I have been crying out for a midfielder who can shoot and score from distance and who can take free kicks and score free kicks. Because yes, we have a great free kick taker in Trent Alexander-Arnold and he can score some long range goals, but on average he scores about 3 or 4 goals per season, and he's not really a midfielder, Trent. Szoboszlai is right footed, but he can give key passes and line breaking passes with his left foot as well. And the fact that Liverpool will have 2 free kick maestros in the team, Szoboszlai and Trent Alexander-Arnold, is absolutely brilliant and scary for opposition teams. But Dominik Szoboszlai is not only good with set pieces, he's way more than that. He's a magnificent creator. He was one of the best in Europe last season in terms of creating chances, as I said, with 0.45 expected assists per 90 minutes. And he can create chances directly and indirectly as well. He's in the top 5 leagues 14th with most shot creating actions, and excluding set pieces he's still 18th in this metric, and per 90 minutes he has the 10 most shot creating actions. Goal creating actions he's 25th in the top 5 leagues, and he's 18th with the most expected assists when it comes to per 90 minutes. But as I said, with under 23 players, he's second in the expected assists metric. And Szoboszlai's decision making is second to none. He's able to get the most danger out of every pass and every carry, and simply chooses the most valuable action a lot of the time. And the way that he has disguised his body movement, the opposition can't guess what kind of pass Szoboszlai will make. Will he pass to the inside right or inside left or the far right or the far left, or will he slot a through ball through the middle? Until the last moment, until the ball leaves his foot, the opposition cannot guess what kind of pass Szoboszlai is going to make, because he's brilliant at hiding that with his body movement. He has so many body feints and dribbles and skill moves in his locker, and at just 22 years old, I can't stress this enough, he's still a developing work in progress player. So he's not a sideways passing merchant, because he risks a lot of brilliant passes and he tries a lot of really incredible through balls and crosses and passes over the top or under the defender's legs, and he's a risk taker, but he's not a luxury player. He works hard, he tracks back, his work rate is exceptional, and that's what you need above the huge talent if you want to make it at the top of European football. You also have to say that he doesn't have the acceleration or the pace of an elite winger. He's not as fast as Luis Diaz or Mo Salah or Darwin Núñez, but that's one of the reasons why he became and will stay to be an inside or interior player on the long term. And in the middle of the pitch and in half spaces, his actual speed is actually a weapon because he's pretty fast for a midfielder, not as fast as an elite winger, but combined with his technique and courage, it creates a dangerous ball progressor. He can pass the ball anywhere, but he's also able to leave defenders behind with a skill move, with a drop of the shoulder. Little fix and tricks, they unbalance the defender. And as I said, they don't know what he will do next. He is a very unpredictable player for the opposition. I absolutely love that about Szoboszlai. And he is perfect for Jurgen Klopp's high tempo, high energy counter-pressing style because he constantly works, he constantly runs, he constantly grinds. He's a Red Bull player. Red Bull Salzburg and Red Bull Leipzig, they play a similar playing style, very high energy, very high tempo, very high work rate, counter pressing, and he knows how to run curved pressing routes and he never stops. He's strong, he's athletic, he's tall. So he is a vintage Jurgen Klopp material kind of player. And yes, the Premier League is a lot more difficult, a lot harder than the Bundesliga, but Szoboszlai probably will have a couple of months of adapting to Liverpool's playing style and to the intensity of the Premier League because it's even more intense than the Bundesliga. Szoboszlai can definitely overcome it because he has everything to become outstanding at Liverpool. Every football transfer has its own risks, but Szoboszlai is as well established player and the transfer as he can be. And yes, in the past month, apart from the last 5 days, all the news have been around Kefren Turam, Roma Lavia, Gravenberch, Gabri Veiga, even Valverde and Mbappe have been linked with Liverpool. But then boom, out of the blue, in a few days, Liverpool complete transfer deal for a midfielder, which is the most expensive midfielder in Liverpool's history. And for that to be a Hungarian player, I can't express in words how proud that makes me. Hungary is a small country with less than 10 million people living in Hungary. And of course, there are a further 5 million Hungarians living abroad in neighboring countries and in other countries. But for such a small country to have a player good enough and talented enough to sign for one of the biggest clubs in the world, and Hungary has a very rich football history. In the 50s, we had a golden magic Magyar side, which was the first non-UK team to beat England at Wembley. We beat them 6-3 in, I think, 1954, and then England requested a replay, which Hungary won 7-1. We won the Olympic Games with that team, and we also went to the World Cup final, where famously, after being 2-0 up after just 6 minutes, Germany won their first World Cup, turning the game around. That's still heartbreaking. Hungary actually went to 2 World Cup finals in 1938 and 54. We are of course very far away from that because in the past 30 years, because of communism and everything, previously our football has eroded. But now with Dominik Szoboszlai leading this Hungary team, we are making waves in world football, and that's really, really awesome to see. We have almost won our Nations League group ahead of England and Germany, and Italy beat us on the last Nations League game. But to beat to beat England home and away, and especially to win in England 4-0 with Dominik Szoboszlai playing in those games, and also Szoboszlai scored a winning penalty against England. So I really hope that you guys gained a lot of insight about Dominik Szoboszlai in this video, and thanks for watching. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this. Have a nice day. See you later. Goodbye.